Hey there, Central Ohio. Thanks for tuning in to 10 TV Plus this afternoon. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens.
And I'm Breana Albizu, coming in a nice plum shade for us today.
We unintentionally matched.
Did not plan it.
Almost perfectly, especially on camera.
Exactly.
There's no distinction between these colors.
This is crazy. I love it.
An unintentional memo today, but I mean the other thing. I don't know if we're really dressed for it, but it's humid outside.
Oh yeah, this is a sweater dress, so this is definitely not something you want to wear.
Less layers than we have.
Yeah. Don't listen to us.
Yeah, don't dress like us. Listen to the forecast,
yes.
but don't copy the attire for outside because we are just stuck in this pattern. Seems like day after day.
Yeah, just continuous mugginess outside, humidity. The hair is up as well for me, so I listen, Michael.
Yeah,
hope you know that.
The humidity definitely takes a toll on the hair if you're not prepared for it, and you know it gives us these storms just about every afternoon too.
Dangerous too.
Yeah, unfortunately so. So we'll be watching for more of that possibly this afternoon. And the risk for some flooding. So we're going to talk about all of that in our full forecast. But I want to show you first what we had yesterday. This was some strong storms over in Lancaster. Thanks to Ashlyn for sending this photo here. That's a shelf cloud you're looking at there. And what this is indicative of is essentially a strong area of thunderstorms pushing in. We didn't have much in the way of severe weather yesterday, but we did have some heavy rain and some gusty winds push through central Ohio. We'll watch for that again, especially the heavy rain come later today. Of course, if you take any weather photos, we always love to share them here at 10 TV. You can send them to us on social media, or you can text them to us. That's 614-460-3345. We love to share those with you guys at home. Speaking of our big impacts for today, it's those storms once again, especially with the heat and humidity of the afternoon. This is mostly going to go from about 2 o'clock toward midnight. Storms and heavy rain. Make sure you're staying weather aware. Have the 10 TV app downloaded and on your phone. You'll get any weather alerts as soon as they come out. And of course, you can always track the rain with the interactive radar. When it comes to those storms later today, I think our bigger concerns are going to be across the southern portions of Ohio, southern portions of the 10 TV viewing area. You can see the counties there under a flood watch for this evening. That includes Pike and Ross counties over toward Athens County as well. We'll keep a close eye on any of those storms that come through. And of course, watch out for that flooding potential come later today. This is also a good time to remind you guys at home what that flood alert terminology actually means. A flood watch, very similar to the severe thunderstorm type of watches and warnings. That means conditions are favorable for flooding to occur, but it's not happening now. That's where we're at right now with that flood watch in place down in our southern counties. If that changes to a flood warning later today, that means that flooding is occurring or about to occur, and you need to take action to stay safe from changing conditions. Of course, remember that phrase, turn around, don't drown. Never drive through a flooded roadway. When it comes to the different types of flood alerts that you may encounter out there, we're going to break those down as well. Flood advisory, that's the lowest tier of flood alert. This is minor flooding, typically in areas that usually collect water when it rains, not expected to be a major threat to life or property. From there, we have the longer term flood alert. This is the aerial flood warning. This means life or property threatening flooding is expected to occur, but it's going to be a gradual rise in the water. So you've got some time to respond to this. This is going to be a period longer than 6 hours. The more dangerous version of this is a flash flood warning. This is typically what happens when we have those heavy thunderstorms move through, and what we could see later today. This is when flooding happens rapidly in a period of time shorter than 6 hours. We could talk on the order of hours to minutes here when that type of flooding occurs. So if these type of warnings come out, you always want to make sure that you know exactly what that warning is for, exactly what areas are in danger, and if you need to, make sure you move to higher ground. Speaking of moving to higher ground, one final flood alert to talk about, that is the river flood warning, or just the flood warning in general. This is only for streams and rivers. Most people that live near those are aware of the flooding potential that could come with those bodies of water. So keep in mind, if you see a river flood warning, this could last for an extended period of time. And again, take note of what areas are going to be impacted and of course move to higher ground if you need to. As of the morning hours, speaking of the weather for today and where we could head later on, we weren't seeing a lot of sunshine. There was plenty of cloud cover in place overhead. That should help to limit severe weather potential, especially here in central Ohio. But the further south you go, that chance will be on the rise this afternoon. Low temperatures this morning, definitely on the warm and muggy side, all hanging out in the low to mid 70s across central Ohio. Lots of moisture in the air. Dew points out there in the low to mid 70s as well. So there's a lot of energy, so to speak, for storms to work with, and a lot of moisture in the air to help those storms produce rain come this afternoon. When it comes to here in Columbus over the next 12 hours, our forecast, not especially rainy. We've got a lot of cloud cover in place through the day. It's going to hold temperatures down a little bit. We'll only be in the mid 80s this afternoon. And then as we head into tonight, that cloud cover doesn't go anywhere. In fact, you'll notice our rain chances here through the rest of the day in the city are pretty low. Much like what we were showing you with that flood watch earlier, most of the rain and storm activity today is going to be in the southern portions of the state. You can see as of earlier in the morning, not a ton of activity building in just yet. A little bit of rain chance moving through central Ohio, but we're going to see this fill in later today as more unsettled weather just works its way across the state heading into the afternoon. Let's go ahead and break that down hour by hour. First, the severe weather potential today, not especially high. This is only a level 1 out of 5 for those southern regions of the state. Our bigger concerns would be gusty wind if we were to see a strong storm, but I think more than anything, it's going to be heavy rain and at least that potential for some flooding. The overall confidence that we'll see flooding more toward the low end, but if we do see severe weather threats today, we think flooding is going to be the #1 concern. So here's the forecast as we go through the first part of the afternoon. Not a ton of activity. We start to build in more rain as we get toward the late afternoon, early evening. We see heavy showers, thunderstorms possible heading into the evening across those southern counties. These continue through about midnight tonight, so it's going to be several hours of some potentially moderate to heavy rainfall in those hardest hit areas before things start to fade out overnight. We get back to a more quiet pattern by Friday morning, but then throughout the day Friday, we could add to this with more chances for scattered showers and storms as we head toward Friday afternoon. In terms of rainfall totals, again, could be a soaker in those southern counties. Not a lot of the cities that you see on the map here picking up especially big numbers. You can see Washington Courthouse, one of the higher ones at about 1 inch, but look just outside Fayette County there. As you head back toward Clinton County, this big bullseye of rain in there, that could be several inches. And that's not to say that this spot explicitly is going to see that much rain. What that's telling you is that we have that risk in the storm that some areas could pick up way more rain than others. You can see that again down to the east of Jackson, some of those heavier areas of rain. And while we can't pinpoint 100% where the heaviest rain will fall, we think it's mostly going to be south of I-70, and be aware that some places could pick up several inches of rain through this evening and into tonight. So again, that's the reason for that flood watch that'll be in place. Your 10 weather impact 7-day forecast, we see more storm activity really continuing through the weekend and into early next week. In terms of rain chances after we get past today, tomorrow, not quite as much. We're down to about 30%. We do raise that chance for showers and storms through the weekend. We're hovering about 50%. Again, kind of dipping as we head toward Monday and then picking back up again next week. We're just going to stay in this unsettled weather pattern when it comes to conditions across the state. Hot, humid, and unsettled. Kind of really just takes the name of the forecast, not just for today, for the entire next 7. So there will be dry time, but not all day.
Yeah, these isolated storms have been really interesting. I know, we talk about it right on Saturday, and yesterday too, we were noticing some things going on. So just want to make sure everyone's very, very cautious.
Yeah, absolutely. Be cautious out there, and hopefully we don't see flooding like they have down toward the south. Of course, we've been following that flooding in Texas, where that death toll unfortunately reached 134 as of recent updates.
Oh, awful to hear. Right now, crews are still searching for more than 100 people who are still missing. Many community leaders are doing what they can to bring peace to families and to friends. One pastor is actually holding vigils and making trips to help clean up communities.
They've seen some horrible things, but they've also heard the stories about saving some families and some children and some adults and rescuing. So those have been good things to hear. What they're doing out there is just incredible.
And many communities are still facing the challenge of the cleaning out their flood-damaged homes with very few resources to help them do that task. You know, with all the damage that we've seen down there, obviously it's been very moving and emotional to see some of those scenes of destruction. But one of the things we've really been trying to do here is to highlight not just those damage stories, those destruction stories, but also focus on stories of everyday people doing what they can to help Texas recover.
I think that's so important too, especially now. Zach Briggs from our sister station, Ken's 5 in San Antonio, has this story of an 81-year-old man doing his part to help others.
I started sharpening when I was a kid.
Bob Cordes' love for refining blades sparked in Chicago.
I was 10 years old. My grandfather was a barber. He asked me if I wanted to sharpen his razor.
Now 81 years old, Cordes in Kerrville is working out of Gibson's Discount Center, immersed in a humanitarian mission.
We really feel like we're in this together.
After a tragedy struck the hill country,
But some very good friends have lost everything.
precision and speed.
We just move them as quick as we can.
Cordes sharpening hundreds of chainsaw blades at no cost for first responders and volunteer search teams.
The first week, about the first 5 days, we did over 300 chains.
And once help arrives in the coming days, he anticipates that number will grow to 500 to 600 chains a week. Cordes knows how crucial it is for crews to have the right tools in tip-top condition.
It adds so much more efficiency so they're not fighting cutting wood up or cutting the trees. It just makes their job much easier.
And while not in the trenches himself, wielding a chainsaw alongside the army of personnel,
We'll be doing this as long as people need chainsaws.
Bob Cordes is helping his community stay sharp for months to come.
I'm just an old guy, and I can't get out there and do that, but I can do something else to make it more efficient. And it's kind of a way to say, never give up.
Zach Briggs, Ken's 5.
Speaking of helping Texas recover, Ohio Task Force 1 continues to help with rescue efforts across the Lone Star State. Task Force 1 posted these photos on Facebook, saying the group is just one of 15 K-9 teams deployed to Texas right now. A specialized 3-person unit left nearly a week ago to help following that devastating flooding.
Now, Ohio Task Force 1 said it had to temporarily pause search efforts because of more rain that fell earlier this week, but their efforts continue this morning. Good news there. And hey, tomorrow night, you could see exactly how floodwaters rose and how Texans answered with courage. Watch Hearts and Heroes flooding in the Texas Hill Country and find out how you can also help those still in need. Stream for free starting Friday night at 6:30 on 10 TV Plus, which is free to download and watch on your TV.
Yeah, and another way you can help those impacted by that historic flooding is to visit cbsnews.com/helptexas. From there, you'll find more information on ways that you can safely donate to those relief efforts currently underway. And sticking with our coverage on severe weather around the nation and the recovery that FEMA can sometimes provide, 20 states are actually now taking legal action against the Trump administration, accusing it of putting lives and property at risk by ending a key disaster prevention program. That's according to the New York Times.
A new federal lawsuit filed Wednesday claims that the FEMA unfortunately and unlawfully shut down the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program without congressional approval. The multi-billion-dollar grant program known as BRIC was launched in 2018 during President Trump's first term. It funded nearly 2,000 projects to help communities deal with natural disasters. Plaintiffs say it had saved taxpayers over $150 billion.
FEMA ended that program in April, calling it wasteful and politically driven. That statement has since been removed from the agency's website. The lawsuit comes amid a string of extreme weather events, of course, including that flooding in Texas, extreme weather in New York and New Jersey, and in other portions around the country. For months, Trump has said that he wants to eliminate FEMA, calling the agency bloated and ineffective, but the administration now appears focused on overhauling the agency instead. And tragedies such as that deadly flooding in Texas, again, have left kids with a lot of questions and perhaps some anxiety as well.
Yeah, really hard time for just a lot of people, especially those kids, as you were mentioning. Research shows children who see or hear about disasters are actually more likely to show symptoms of fear, worry, and even having trouble sleeping. Now, even if kids don't see coverage of tragedies at home, 40% of 8 to 12-year-olds are on social media, where videos and pictures of these tragedies may come up. Psychologist Dr. Cheryl Ziegler has advice on how to talk to them.
One of the things you say is there are good people doing good work every day. We don't even see them all that are trying to keep us safe. And me as your parent, every day, I'm also always thinking about your safety. So you start even giving them other examples of things we do for safety so that they're reminded, oh yeah, there's a purpose. Because you get in a car and you put a seatbelt on, you don't even think about it. Talk to them about those things. They transfer over.
That is really good advice because you really don't think about stuff like that. Now, when talking about these topics, mental health experts suggest asking kids what they know, validate or clarify the information they have, ask how they are feeling, and discuss some actions to take.
Now to some lighter news and a Girl Scout STEM camp that is helping young girls understand the role of STEM in fashion.
It's pretty cool, too. 10 TV weather impact meteorologist Meredith Goffalo got a look at the special opportunities girls here in Central Ohio have this summer to learn about this and a whole lot more.
There's a lot of things that have to happen in order for us to have clothes to wear every single day. But did you know that a lot of STEM fields actually contribute to that process? At a very special summer camp, the Girl Scouts are learning what exactly about STEM makes fashion happen.
When we work with CAD,
I've just always been drawn to science, the way chemicals just mix together and you can get something else.
A passion that led this sixth grader to choose a different sort of summer camp offered by the Girl Scouts of Ohio's Heartland, focusing solely on STEM.
Many people, when they think of engineering, they think of like technology and welding, but technically engineering can be like anything that has buildings.
STEM is the acronym for science, technology, engineering, and math. And this week, girls that are in the 4th to 8th grade are learning how fashion stems from things they already love, like the arts.
they felt more confident doing STEM when there was art involved because it's something they felt very familiar with. And so through getting to merge technology with fashion, they're already familiar with, sewing, they're familiar with friendship bracelet making, but then adding things in like, okay, now we're gonna print custom beads. Now we're gonna learn how to do measurements and how to do the math behind creating a scent. It adds this extra layer to it where they're like, wait a second, a lot of the things I do are actually STEM.
The week-long camp allows these Girl Scouts to learn more about the different types of STEM careers that intertwine with the fashion industry, working in a setting that allows them to brainstorm as a team.
Having them in these smaller groups and having it be girl focused, it makes them feel safer to promote their own ideas. It makes them feel more confident. And it also gives them opportunity to dig into concepts or topics that, we don't facilitate for students in a classroom typically.
Getting opportunities to partake in activities including using a 3D printing machine to make accessories, sketching out their designs, and how skills in engineering, math, and even chemistry can make or break an outfit.
It just blows my mind. Let's say you don't have a sort of string that goes well in water and you're making a bathing suit. Then the fabric will let go. So you need like technology and science to make a perfect outfit.
I like how the 3D printing and stuff and how my friends make new things and they're super cool.
Getting real life experience that will only grow in the years to come.
We want these girls to feel like they can make change in the world and like they have a say and that them doing science will mean something. And here we really make them feel that way and understand that you can make change not just here at camp, you can make change in the world.
Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Probably like a math teacher or a science teacher, maybe.
And so is this helping you get to that goal?
Yes.
And there are so many other STEM camps happening here this summer, ranging from environmental science, which is personally my favorite, to even learning about forensic science. If you'd like more information, you can head over to 10tv.com and click on featured links. In Galloway, I'm Meredith Garfalo for 10TV News.
And thanks, Meredith, for that report. But finally today, let's check out some new video just here at 10TV. An apparent tornado was seen outside of, not 100% sure how to say it, but Maine, Wisconsin? Mazomani?
Wisconsin.
Maybe. It's in Wisconsin. It's in a field. That much
Yes,
we know.
right?
This video
Aren't
here.
they all?
Yeah, hopefully. This video here from Kalen showing the storm just over the hill. Look at that. That's
Wow.
a big old tornado there.
That's a big tornado. I don't know about that one. They're a little
Yeah.
too close for me.
I mean, so long as it's out in the field and you can see where it's going and it's not hitting anything, that's where you want to see the tornadoes. But amazing video there. And you know, the trick to watching tornadoes is if you don't see it moving left or right and it's getting bigger, it's heading toward you.
Yeah, I would assume. And that's when you start running,
Yeah,
driving away.
Get away from it.
Yeah.
If you see it moving left to right, you're pretty good. You'll be able to view it from a safe distance.
You know,
but
this is why we have impact shows. We just
Yeah.
got to tell people once again, move.
Get out of the
Move
way.
away. All right, that is scary. I cannot do that. And hey,
Yeah.
our final video, some dolphins overseas are showing us they're actually smarter than we think. Now, dozens of bottlenose dolphins in Australia's waters are actually donning sponges on their snouts to protect their sensitive skin as they dig through rough sand and sharp rocks on the seabed to uncover hidden fish. I had no idea about that.
That's what I mean. They're using, I don't know, you call it like a tool, a mask, kind of both.
I would assume. Why not?
Yeah, researchers say this rare behavior called sponging, seems like an appropriate name for
Right.
it, and is only found in dolphins in Western Australia. They're
Okay.
the only ones that have been seen doing it so far.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very, yeah, that's.
You can't keep a dolphin away from the fish.
Yeah.
Rocks, not going to keep them away.
That's fair.
Sand, nope. We're finding a tool. We're getting a sponge, getting those fish.
See, another reason why we love dolphins. They are so smart.
They are
I mean,
creepy smart
They got to
sometimes.
eat, and that's a way for them to do it. So,
Yeah.
got to be safe.
Absolutely.
Love to see it.
So, if you head outside this weekend or today, you might need a sponge, but that's just because it's so humid outside. Just,
And the umbrella, right? Yeah.
Dry yourself off a little bit.
Yeah.
But make sure you're staying weather aware, especially this afternoon and evening with the potential for heavy rain and storms in our southern counties. So we want to make sure you stay up to date with the latest information. Of course, we'll have it here all afternoon long. But for now, that's your latest here on 10 TV Plus. Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz. He'll be in later to cover those storms.